Good evening, and welcome once again to the dark and terrifying corridors of Clive Barker's Undying. Although, wait a second, let's see here. Yeah, it took a second for that to update, but you should be seeing now that the corridors of Clive Barker's Undying are no longer quite so dark and spooky. Yes, it's true, I have finally figured out how to add a gamma boosting filter in OBS, so the game should be somewhat more legible now. Let me just see on my screen whether or not that's coming through. Yes, looks more or less like what I'm seeing. That's cool. Give me just a moment to get the stream functional here. Kind of silly that it actually took me that long to figure out how to actually make my stream look like anything at all, but that's how it goes sometimes. It's a learning process. So, last time... What happened last time? Okay, so, last time, our character, the occult investigator Patrick Galloway, visited the home of his old friend, Jeremiah Covenant, and learned that he has been placed under a curse due to some ill-advised occult shenanigans. And all of his siblings are dead, but they are not really gone. So Patrick has agreed to go hunt down them and find a way to stop the curse. So the first of the four undead siblings, Lisbeth, we tracked to the old Covenant family mausoleum, and somehow we instead ended up in the tunnels beneath the ruined monastery on a completely different island. I'm actually not completely sure how that happened. I think part of the game might have been cut and we just took a boat for no obvious reason. But whatever. This isn't exactly open world, so I'm sure we're going the right way. So yes, this is a old abandoned monastery that used to hold a order of monks who supposedly knew various magical secrets, including the ability to time travel. But they all disappeared many years ago, and I'm sure that won't come up again. Last time, you may remember, we saw a pirate standing here get killed by spears. Yeah, those things. Fortunately, we do have our scrying ability, which makes this a little bit easier.
Stop.
I'll just go ahead and drop a... Whoop. Meant to drop a quick save there as a ward against... Yep, there he is. Oh hey, and now you can see the tiles for some reason. That's interesting. Well anyways, let's drop a quick save here as a ward against everybody's favorite thing in the world, first-person jumping puzzles. Okay. I've always found myself wondering how these things actually work. Like, what's the mechanism in them that would last that long? Compressed air, maybe? Oh, I see some skeletons down there, you know what that means. That sounded ominous. Oh. Oh, that was a cool effect. All the lights going out like that. Go away. Fortunately, we upgraded Invoke, so we can pretty much just destroy these guys as much as we need to. Which is good, because I do not remember where we're going at all. We came from up here.
Bunch.
This looks promising. Ah, yes, that's a bit better. And another one of those surprise loading gates. We're clear of that infinitely spawning enemy location. Distant thunder. Oop, possible stream issue. Give me 1 second here. This is me testing my audio levels. Testing my audio levels. Sorry about that, folks. As I mentioned, it is still a learning process. Looks like some sort of cistern up here. I believe we want to go up from here. Oh, there's enemies, so yeah. Yeah, the game starts throwing health packs at you at this point, if I remember correctly. We've now got 17, and before I thought we were doing well when we had 5. That time monk was doing something here. Oh hey, a mercury flask and the monastery key. Looks like we also found some phosphorus shotgun shells here. So if we use those... Oh yeah, so now we have the time incantation, the sun medallion, and the mercury flask, which supposedly is all we need to use the monk's old time travel spell. I'm sure that won't come up though. But if we use the phosphorus shotgun shells as an item, we'll swap to them, and we'll show off what those do as we get the chance. Is there anything else here? Don't think so. I think this will drop us back into the courtyard from before.
Jammed.
Those 14th century shotgun shells probably were not still good anyways.
Who are you, Jeremiah? No, you're an antelope!
God, I hope that voice actor got paid a lot. Alright, let's swap back to regular shells now. And let's go back to the trusty revolver. Actually, trusty revolver only has about 16 bullets. It's actually got more silver bullets than that. So, let's swap back to that shotgun.
Won't budge. Stuck.
Oh, and there's the key we needed to go upstairs to get, I bet. Yep. Scared the devil out of me there. Wasted a shot there. We done? Okay. Now, let's see here. I think this might be a spot where we can actually use dynamite. Oop. I think I got him, yeah. Very nice. Since the dynamite gets placed right at your feet, there's not a lot of places where it's actually useful. What is up here? Oh, I think I know where that is. Some silver bullets. Man, I love the low poly architecture in this game. And here we are back at this location, where we can turn the second crank there, and now this area here is open. I mean, it was open before, but now it's actually open enough that the level designers will let us get out. And I believe, yeah, so that tower there means we're now behind in the main monastery chamber that we've been trying to get into all this time. And a spooky voice just told us to scry.
The devil walks among us.
Okay.
Jammed.
Man, the image of like a ruined church with like the windows still, the arches of the windows still visible. Very Victorian feeling image, I believe. Oh. Okay, so this lake here had its own music sting, so presumably this is what we've been looking for. Let's pour out that mercury. There's the sundial placed. Don't know what you do if you didn't get that the first time. I don't think you can go back here. Go back from here. But let's see what happens when we place the incantation. That is a genuinely cool effect. I really like it. Well, we all know that if we find a mysterious and unexplainable supernatural phenomenon, only thing really left to do is dive right in. Maybe we should have packed a coat first. So now we are presumably in the monastery of the past. And there's the monks whose ghosts we've been seeing all over the place. Wonder what it is that killed them. Hello. Whoop. I guess it was us. Yeah, the monks of the monastery are automatically hostile to you. I think they mention at some point that they've been corrupted by that artifact they found. And almost all of the stained glass windows in this monastery of the past has this spooky demon, which I believe is an illustration from that one famous grimoire, whose name I can't remember. Doesn't seem like a fine how do you do from the present that we're giving them there, but so it goes. Uh-oh. Oh! Crossbow surprisingly effective. Oh dear. Looks like this guy was a victim of friendly fire. Let's see what he had to say. History of Scythe. Bless me, Father, for I have sinned. Temptation has overtaken me. I must leave my brethren, yet I fear there may be difficulties, like getting shot by a bunch of crossbow quarrels. No one has ever left the monastery alive. My fellow monks have eyes of the eagle and ears of the hound. Therefore I must walk quietly under the cloak of night. Perhaps if they do not see nor hear me, I will pass safely. There is yet another reason for my leaving. Weeks ago we uncovered the Scythe of the Celt, out near the Standing Stones. If we remember, the Standing Stones was the place where Jeremiah Covenant and his siblings read a random incantation, which was presumably the cause of all this nonsense that's going on. This evil artifact has now infected us. I have seen a change in my brothers and in myself. Our minds are cursed. We spend less time with our quills and more time with our weapons. The scythe is a very powerful weapon, very adept at killing, but there is a price. I pray that the ritual at the church can summon the forces necessary to destroy the scythe and return us to peace. I will not be present for the ritual, as I will use that time to slip away quietly into the wilderness. Protect me, Father. Brother Shanahan. So did 5 guys shoot him at once, or did that guy just keep shooting him over and over as he died? But the good news is that journal implies that the Scythe of the Celt is still here.
Brothers, to arms!
I think we just got bullets somehow.
Won't budge.
Well, I guess that guy locked the door, but didn't have the key. That makes things a little bit more difficult.
I just heard something.
Seems a little unsporting to use guns against these medieval fellows, but they can take a surprising number of hits. I like that moon texture. A little bit high res for the rest of the setting.
The servant of the Lord.
Ironic that the first enemy I'm really going to use these silver bullets against are apparently normal, mostly normal humans. But I believe they do bonus damage nonetheless. Man, those sticks hit like jackhammers. But yeah, here's where we start finding medical kits everywhere. So they must expect you to take a few hits from these guys. Got 23 now, wow.
Won't budge.
Let's see if I can actually get this guy with splash damage. Yeah, let's take a mulligan on that one. Five bullets directly to the forehead. These guys have been drinking some really good wine, I guess. Whoop.
Won't budge.
Is there a way to open this? Feel like there should be. Well, let's just take a mulligan on that one. Man, that guy had some serious jumping skill there.
He's reloading his weapon.
How do you know that? You may have noticed by now that this is actually essentially just a non-ruined version of the same map that we were just exploring. Good thing they left this unlocked. And here we are in the monastery's inner courtyard again. I actually really like that effect of traveling about the confusing interior of the ruined modern-day monastery, and then finding yourself in it when it was completely active. It's actually something I notice with a lot of video game environments. It's always like a ruined temple or some other sort of crumbling structure, and there's no real feeling that this could have ever been in use. Like I said, this is a very ambitious game in a lot of ways like that.
I come, O Father.
Now, what do we have here? Monk's work. Monday, transcribe. Tuesday, transcribe. Wednesday, transcribe. Thursday, replace window in church tower. Friday, transcribe. Saturday, transcribe. Sunday, rest. Yeah, that is pretty accurate.
Won't budge. Jammed. Jammed.
Actually, using a combination of ectoplasm and the Gelzabar stone may be the best way to fight these guys.
Jammed.
Let's try that out. Hey, that works. Cool. Best way to fight the monks is with dark magic. Although we kinda have to, don't we? If I were cool, I'd remember that scene in Macbeth where he's considering killing the guy while he's praying, but I do not remember that at all. We can hear the familiar whirring of an amplifier down here. Must be hard to sleep with that. Don't think these are collectible. Yeah, that is one stiff binding you got there.
Won't budge.
Yeah, the game throws a lot of these health packs at you. I think they expect you to take a lot of hits in this section.
Won't budge. Won't budge. Won't budge.
Not quite sure what it was saying there. Oh hey, here's that cistern area. The true enemy of the church, kiting. Is there anything here? Nope. Having a kind of useless area like that flies in the face of a lot of game design principles. That leads back outside. But I kind of like, actually kind of like that they're doing a callback to an area you've seen before. And hey, it was a cistern. Just like I thought. Actually not sure what this does. Sounds like, actually, we must have drained something down there. So we did. What does that do for us? That must have done something. And it's not like they just added the control just to make the environment more realistic. Although actually, yeah, that does seem like something they would have done. Is there anything else in here? Not sure what this is meant to represent. I had no idea that was there. What did that do? Alright, we are entering uncharted territory. I had no idea this was here. And we found another mana well, I believe. And phosphorus shotgun shells and silver bullets. For some reason. Didn't know the Lone Ranger could time travel. I was gonna do a joke about how that looked like a box of medieval breakfast cereal or something. But that works a lot better. Well, I guess it wasn't a complete waste to come down here. I believe we can just go back out into the courtyard here. The snow effect is just janky enough to be charming.
Jammed. Jammed.
What was that?
Whoa, that was close.
Did you hear that? Jammed.
Locked in the past as it is in the present. And now we're back here. Thought that would be a loading gate.
Need a key.
Need the Abbot's Key. Well, let's see if I can't remember that. The something or other Bible it was called. Actual medieval depictions of demons are much weirder and cooler than our current pop cultural conception. So we want to go in there and then across the way. But there's actually a loading gate that way. I feel like a lot of this game was made like in one big chunk. And then they added the loading gates because they realized the engine couldn't handle it. Which is interesting compared to how polished modern development tends to be. You found the scriptorium. Scriptarium. I think that's what it's called. The writing place. Let's see what's down this important looking staircase. Back out that way, I guess. Oh, we found another one of these. Arcane Worlds. I believe these make our mana regenerate faster. Here's where the tower is. Charmingly naive level design. They seem very proud of this monastery they designed. Anyways, let's try the diplomatic approach. There's one thing I know about monks, it's that they like themselves some wine, so maybe if they see us holding this bottle. Oh. Guess not. So I guess this was the abbot then? He threw what looked like a flaming explosive skull at him. Don't remember what section of the Bible has that particular, mentions that in it. Oh, but there's the abbot key. We know where this goes. I mean, we're supposed to know where it goes, but I search in my brain a bit here. Oh yeah, over here. Man, they really like that one demon illustration. Whoop. Okay. Don't know if that was the same guy or what, but I think that's the last we see of him. And that might be the key we've been looking for. I'll go ahead and take a 5-minute break here. Not that there's anything about to happen, mind you. This is just a completely arbitrary stopping point. So, let's brush up on our religious studies here. And we're back. Now I remember it was the Codex Gigas that this is found in, which is a very famous medieval tome that's like 3 feet wide. Anyways, let's grab the Abbot's Key here. Don't know how I'd feel about sleeping on an elevated platform in front of a gaping doorway there. Well, that was ominous. Uh-oh. And there he goes. And we've managed to make it up the wall here. Thought this might be a secret, but I guess not. Now, what did the gold key go to? One thing I noticed about the revolver is it sort of looks like if you hit the walls at an angle, it sort of looks like the bullets ricochet. So I wonder if you're meant to do a bit of revolver ocelot action with it. I don't think I've ever managed to do it intentionally, though. I have a hard enough time hitting enemies after one direction. Oh, there's an amplifier. Now I've got 6 of those, which is impressive, as I think spells can only level up to 5. But I think we'll hold on to them for a while longer. Ectoplasm has been serving us pretty well at its current level. Come on. Can I... Oh, guess it's not just Source Engine that you can crouch jump on. There's probably a million secrets on these rooftops, but not sure where any are. So, let's head in here.
Prepare to meet thy maker.
Scared the devil out of me. Which I guess is his job, so... That looks important, what's on the altar there. Health pack number 37.
Stock. Jammed.
Well, we know what this guy likes. Hopefully that's the last time, or his last clone. See, I knew he liked them. Now that opened something.
Stock.
Not sure what, though. Sounded like it was below us. Oh, was there a ledge surrounding this? That's what it was. Well, this doesn't look at all ominous. So, finders keepers, I guess.
This can't be good. Father, shield me from harm.
And here we are, back in the present, somehow. Okay. Wow, that brings all these ruins into a whole new light, doesn't it? Ah well, it was in the past. So, let's see what Patrick thinks about this here scythe we found. I find the Scythe of the Celt to be quite a disturbing force. It's clear from the history of this weapon that it is particularly effective in exterminating the most heinous of entities. At times it seems to pull me in directions of combat, almost as if it's seeking pain and destruction, wreaking havoc on my mana when it is in my hands for a long duration. It seems to replenish my health in particularly frenzied fighting. I have learned not to fear many things in my life, but there is something within the weapon that stirs a horror within me I cannot explain. So the Scythe of the Celt is a funny weapon. It's our melee weapon, but unlike in a lot of modern games, we didn't start with it. And we'll see why when I get the chance to use it. Ah yes, and we retrieved the gold key in the past.
Won't budge.
Wonder who closed this. Speaking of which, I wonder who... So we retrieved this scythe from the past, and we know in the present it just disappeared. So did we take it from the past, or did, like, we overwrite the timeline? Did this thing just, like, disappear from a museum somewhere and appear in our hands? Who knows? Anyways, let's open this gold key door and return to the catacombs. God, I love that effect. Who lit this, do you think? Uh-oh. Wait. You hear that? Oh dear. Sorry to any rat lovers in the audience. Oh, there's an amplifier. Uh-oh. Ah, good. So the Scythe of the Celt is quite powerful. This would be our go-to weapon for getting rid of these howlers, as opposed to repeatedly missing with our trusty revolver, as I tend to do, since it usually gets them in one attack. There is also an alternate firing mode that's rather complex to use. That gives us a slower, more powerful swing. And if we kill an enemy with it, we will drain their health into our own. However, you'll notice that when we activate that alternate mode, our mana starts going down rapidly. Still, it's a pretty useful way to stretch our health bar out a bit further. Lost Trisanti note. These dark, twisting tunnels offer me no hope. I shiver with the cold the damp air brings. It's been several days now. Several days since I fell in here, down what I thought was an old dried-up water well. At the bottom of this well, there was no mud, no caked dirt, but instead a strange chamber. This chamber could have been used to practice the dark arts, as nothing else could explain the strange markings on the wall, the huge altar in the center of the room, the strange creatures that roam these halls. They could only be the product of some sort of ancient summoning ritual. What horrible death have I doomed myself to? Not even going to try that name. Now that's an observation you can try and work into your everyday life. That could only have been the product of some ancient summoning ritual. So I believe having the scythe just equipped causes your mana to regenerate slower too, even when you're not using that alternate mode.
Won't budge.
Now I'm gonna drop permanent save here, because this spot is kind of odd. So if we go this way, however, I believe if we go in this direction,
Why are you doing this, Lisbeth?
So, you know who I am? Do you think that will help you? You are soon to draw your last breath.
oh hey, there's somebody in my chat. Hello Kamui003. So if we go this way, we see that little cutscene with Lisbeth, and then we slide down this slope here. Which puts us here. And I'm not actually sure how these areas link up. So you'll forgive me a little bit of exploration. Now I'm gonna have to learn to actually look at the chat. Man, but this thing makes quick work of these guys, though. I like how they made you go through that whole section with a bunch of melee enemies, and then give you a really powerful melee weapon. One of them finally got me. Oh boy. Never mind. It's an old game, you're allowed to save scum. Yeah, I'm not sure what the damage numbers on this thing are, but it is definitely an overpowered weapon. Let's go have a word with these guys again. So I believe the secret here is to shoot the appropriate symbols. And some unpleasant looking water is rising. Oh hey! So that's how we get an amplifier and a whirl. Uh-oh. That was worth it. Yeah, I like this old school game design with all sorts of bizarre secrets that you're almost certain to miss. Oh, and that sends you back here. I had no idea that whole loop existed. How utterly bizarre. Well, let's head onwards then.
Why are you doing this, Lisbeth?
No skipping.
So, you know who I am. Do you think that will help you? You are soon to draw your last breath.
Man, that voice actress certainly sounds like she was enjoying that. Near as I could tell, yeah. And now we end up here in some sort of cistern area. You can probably tell what enemy we're going to be fighting from the weapon I just swapped to. And by that. Oh, some ancient medieval dynamite bundles here. We'll make use of those. Man, I've got like 9 of these amplifiers. Better hold on to them for a bit, though. These fellas look spooky and scary. Just sort of disappeared there. Okay. I really like that there's just this one spell you can use to instantly get rid of these guys. Kind of an odd game design choice, but it makes the spells in the game have a lot more character than if they were just, you know, shooting different types of elemental damage.
Won't budge.
Well, time to do something very safe. As far as water levels go, this is tolerable.
Won't budge. Jammed.
Oh my, what happened here? I like how they managed to make it feel like the howlers are really stalking you. Like they come at you from places that they can't actually get to you from so often. Wait, what am I doing? I've got the best weapon now.
Can you not see your quest is in vain?
Uh-oh. I may have miscalculated here. Oh, there we go. Somehow. Yeah, they give you 10 million health kits in that monastery level, and then they give you an item you can use to repair your health, so it's actually kind of the last part in the game I've seen so far that's really difficult. Got 45 now. I remember when I thought I was lucky to have 5. What? Let's try that again. I think I get hit by the portcullis. This looks familiar.
Let's see how strong you really are. Come to me, Irishman.
That sounds like bait. Called it. And not just because I've played this game before. I believe if you can manage to take off the skeleton's head with the scythe, then they will not get back up. But I think it's easier just to invoke them. What an interesting sound that is. Let's just go away from that for a bit. Actually, let's not put it off any longer.
What is that strange singing?
Yeah, exactly, Pat.
What have you done? You will pay for touching Mother.
Lisbeth, you have no idea what you've turned into. Why are you haunting your family so?
I know what I am. I seek vengeance. I was cheated by Jeremiah, and he will die to finish what was begun. You have awoken the past, but you don't know how to stop it. I will rend your bones and serve you to my pet.
Boss fight time. And of course, obviously the first thing we want to do is run away. Ow. Now let's see what we have to say about that. Whilst tracking, I love that they keep using whilst. Tracking Lisbeth, I came upon the matriarch of the Covenants, Evelyn. Her corpse was standing at what seemed to be their dining room table, humming echoes of a childhood lullaby. As I touched her arm, her body fell limp into her chair, lifeless. As if sensing her mother, Lisbeth entered the room and scolding me, the interloper, for interfering. I do not yet know what the wicked mess that has befallen my poor friend's family, yet I feel it around every corner. I actually really like the little detail of the undead mother there. I think that must have been one of the things Clive Barker actually added. Anyways, let's see if I can't remember how to fight Lisbeth. I don't think we need to be anywhere in particular. You just need to dodge those little skulls she throws. Ah! So we just gotta dodge right, then left. Up. Love her animations. Uh-oh. Now I believe she now has an instant kill attack. No? Let's see what it looks like when she kills you. Uh-oh. And she's dazed. Just gotta hit her with the scythe. Simple as that. There's some pretty creative kill animations, yeah. Oh, what do we have here? Let's just absorb it into her crotch as usual. And now we have Haste, a spell with a superb effect. When used, it gives me a limited burst of speed and agility, like a big cat racing along the Serengeti. I have found that this spell may prove critical for overcoming obstacles or retreating from my foes. So Haste is one of the really good spells. Which is why I'm going to go ahead and put a bunch of amplifiers in it right off the bat. And we've still got like 5 left. Whoop. That is not what Haste does. That was a ether trap I accidentally dropped. But what Haste does do is make you move quite fast. In a game with a lot of enemies who use melee attacks, that's actually very useful. Let's see what that says. Cliffside entry. Someone must stop them. At first I thought these rituals were but an extension of our faith, a show of glory to our Maker. But to hear that fair maiden screaming for mercy, this cannot be what he would want of his followers. I fear that some of the brothers here have taken a disliking to me, as eyes are averted and silence falls when I enter the room. How could the abbot allow this to continue uncontested? Does he even know? So much troubles me, yet I fear I attempt to return to the monastery to consult him. I might be the next one of these madmen sent on the journey to the hereafter. Ever faithful to the order, Brother Larson. Don't you hate it when there's that one guy in the group who's just not down with the human sacrifice? Such a spoil sport. Oh, and look! Yet another amplifier. But yes, haste makes you move quite a bit faster. And I believe it also makes your mana regenerate faster. There must be many ways to easily break the game with this. I really like the detail of the undead mother there. I think if it were, that must have been Clive Barker's idea, because I think... Oh.
What's this? My pets to him I call you. Break his bones and claw his eyes clean. How dare you? I will gnash your heart between my teeth and drink deeply. The ritual will be complete. The king will arise and the very world will tremble. The family is to be reunited.
You were saying?
This game. Good thing this was there. Lisbeth's death. I did what I had to. That was a little bit more than what you had to do, I imagine. There, Patrick. I battled Lisbeth with all I had, and narrowly escaped with my life. Even in death, she haunted me. As I carried her severed head to the cliffs, she cursed me, still in the demonic tongues, and belittled her own end. She said I cannot stop what has already begun, that the family will be reunited, the king will arise once again. I cannot accept that my efforts are fruitless. I must repay my life debt to Jeremiah. I will do what I must. Yeah, I think the detail of the undead mother must have been added by Clive Barker, because I think if a games writer did that, they would just make her an enemy instead of this really weird and inexplicable thing. Because that's where good horror comes from. Writing good horror, you kind of have to not be afraid to be kind of goofy. Well, it's a good thing we now have speed magic. And climbable vines. Let's try that again. Let's try that again. Not sure what manner of foliage you have growing on the cliffs of old Ireland, but Imagine in the pro strat, the pro speedrun strat is to use haste. Along with the scythe. I believe the pro speedrun strat is to use haste and the scythe to really stick and move.
Can't believe I made it out of there. Better head back to the mainland.
I really wish the loading wasn't so fast. I wanted to take a closer look at that there map they have. Oh, that's interesting. The weird old tower that the manor is built around is glowing. Wonder what that implies. Let's see if anything has changed in the
Jammed.
grounds here.
Won't budge.
Most likely all that has changed is that all the servants are going to be dead.
Something was watching me.
What?
Outside, in the shrubbery. All I know is Jeremiah isn't paying me enough for this. I'm leaving.
Get him! Look alive! He's here!
Man, what a tragic way to go. Well, I'm sure they can always clone a few more of them. What do we have here? Ambrose's note. My Trasanti brothers, the stranger must be stopped. Beware, he has skill. Remember the advice from the master in the east. Hence that general is skillful in attack, whose opponent does not know what to defend, and he is skillful in defense, whose opponent does not know what to attack. When the stranger is dead, return to me in the Pirate's Cove. Ambrose. So Ambrose is another one of the undead siblings, and we learn right away that he is the sort of person who quotes Sun Tzu, so kind of taking a dislike to him already. What's interesting, though, is that the Trasanti are sort of his faction. They're the guys who seem to be working for him, and we remember the Trasanti and the Howlers were quite a bit at odds, and the Howlers were Lisbeth's enemies, or Lisbeth's underlings, so it seems maybe all the undead Covenant siblings are not necessarily allied with each other.
What's inside the building?
The old greenhouse, you mean? No one's been in there for ages. When Bethany was young, she used to be quite the gardener.
Thank you.
What are you people still doing here? I've seen like over a dozen of you killed before my very eyes. Does Jeremiah give you like a really good life insurance policy? Dental? Something like that? Well, let's have a look at this here old greenhouse. They gave us phosphorus shells right in the entryway. Uh-oh. Wonder if that's a hint. You don't have any comment about that tentacle that just whipped me, do you? Just tapping your foot? Okay. I like the ambiance of this greenhouse. If not for the chittering of plant monsters. But yeah, they don't like these phosphorus shells. Oh, and we grabbed a Manuel here. Thanks, Hermes. Well, that's that taken care of. Don't know what we really got out of that, except for more phosphorus shells. A health pack. Oh, and a journal entry. Looks like this is Aaron's jaw. I finally did it. I silenced Aaron. He will no longer belittle me or interfere with my research. This has released a great weight from my mind and allows me to pursue my studies in the silence of our ancestral home. As a memento, I have taken my dear brother's jaw. That source of constant ridicule will never again taunt me. His sway over me is broken. Unfortunately, I do not think he felt a thing. The fool was so deep in his stupor, he no doubt thought it me a dream. It would seem that I am the last of the Covenants. Since Aaron no longer troubles me, or himself for that matter, I find myself all alone. Jeremiah has not been heard of since he left for the war. It is better this way. I will now be able to complete what was started so many years ago on the Isle. It took well over 20 years for us to accept what we had done. I will be the one to finish this task and accept the legacy of this family. Bethany. I believe Bethany was the other red-headed sibling. It sounds like she was the last one of the siblings to die, except for Jeremiah, of course. Now I will confess this is actually where my first playthrough ended. I decided I was going to stream this here, so I don't actually know what awaits for us back in the kitchen.
Won't budge.
Okay. Looks like that's broken. Don't think we've been up there yet. Let's have a quick look around first. Oh boy. Okay, now we've got poltergeists.
I've seen strange men prowling the grounds. I don't know where they're coming from.
God, these guys' accents. I'm sure he can take care of himself. So I intuit that is the way forwards. So let's have ourselves explore a bit. Oh, knew it. Oh no, it's completely normal to just have a place set with just a bunch of knives lined up. So this must be a secret. Oh hey, I think we're back in the servants area.
Won't budge. Jammed.
Remember this mirror?
Won't budge.
Can't go back into the dispel room.
Locked.
Still need the workroom key. It's a very spooky sight, isn't it, there? Just that one chair sitting alone, all dramatically lit.
Jammed. Stuck.
My magic tells me that this is a place of great sorrow, which obviously does not apply to the rest of the house.
Won't budge.
I'd feel bad taking that anyways. Although I guess there's about an 80% chance its owner is dead.
Oh, you scared me. I didn't think I'd run into anyone at this hour.
Likewise. So tell me, what do you know of Ambrose?
Ambrose is the family secret they like to keep quiet.
What do you mean?
Well, no one has ever directly told me, but everyone on staff knows that Ambrose killed his father. It's one of those family secrets they don't like to talk about.
He killed Joseph?
Yes, 7 years ago, in the game room. Even the authorities in town knew about the killing, but were slow to act upon it, since Ambrose was such a hellion. Throughout the county, Ambrose was known for his viciousness. Only a fool chose to stand in his way.
So obviously this game has completely turned around my sense of relevancy, and it looks like we are actually where we're supposed to be. That's no good. Let's skip back here. So I guess our next target is going to be Ambrose.
Jammed.
That's an odd sense you sort of develop, isn't it? That sense of, where forward is in a game, so you don't accidentally go there. There's some ominous thrumming coming from over there. Uh-oh.
Not good.
Uh-oh.
I bleed you slow, Irishman.
Yeah, this is where I'd probably want to hang out in this situation too. Oh. That's the Covenant Servant patented foot tap there.
Stuck.
Alright, let's just snipe this guy. Nice walk animation there.
I'm slow.
That could have been done better. My. Oh wait, we do have a useful spell now. Let's just use that.
Won't budge.
This is obviously something, but don't know what it is. Feels like we're meant to get to the roof from there. I sure do like this statue of Hermes. Certainly got enough of those amplifiers. Yes, I do not believe we can do anything here right now.
Jammed.
So I guess this is the correct way to go for now.
Oh, you scared me. I didn't think I'd run into anyone at this hour.
Likewise. So tell me, what do you know of Ambrose?
Ambrose is the family secret they like to keep quiet.
Hmm? What do you mean?
Well, no one has ever directly told me, but everyone on staff knows that Ambrose killed his father. It's one of those family secrets they don't like to talk about.
He killed Joseph?
Yes. 7 years ago, in the game room. Even the authorities in town knew about the killing, but were slow to act upon it, since Ambrose was such a hellion. Throughout the county, Ambrose was known for his viciousness. Only a fool chose to stand in his way.
And now we're back on track. Let's have a look around before we follow that guy.
Locked.
Oh yeah, that's the Widow's Watch. Still not sure what a
Won't budge.
Widow's Watch is.
I take it they never caught him.
He emerged after months of hiding to claim his inheritance. He barged into the manor and proceeded to take whatever he wanted. By the time the constables could arrive, Ambrose had fled the scene. They gave chase, but he escaped their pursuit by leaping off a cliff.
A cliff?
Never hesitated for a moment. Everyone thought him to be dead, except...
Except what?
We'd hear stories of Ambrose sightings for years. In the States, the Orient, even in Prussia. We really didn't believe he was still alive. Until he came back and brought those heathens with him.
The prodigal son returns.
In so many words. I do hope I've helped you.
You have indeed. Thanks.
Well, let's see here. Ambrose's history. What I heard makes more sense now. The man I heard Ambrose attack was his own father. He actually murdered his own blood. A butler filled me in on a piece of the morbid Covenant history. The family, townspeople, and local authorities were afraid of Ambrose, even after he disappeared. When he finally returned to the estate, the constables gave chase and Ambrose was able to evade them by leaping from the cliffs to the ocean below. I'm sure we don't know anything about that, do we, Patrick? Their fear of him when alive was nothing compared to the sightings of Ambrose following his deadly leap. Back from the dead, it seems the black sheep has returned. Like how we look when we're just holding the bottle there. Before we head that way, did I see another? Is that another Judith beheading Holofernes? No, I guess that. I don't recognize that, but I guess it must be David and Goliath? Probably. Don't recognize that one either. So many loading gates.
Stuck.
So I guess that's where we came in. Oh, the bar. Well, now that we found this, I guess we don't really need to go anywhere else. It's a nice looping texture there. I don't recognize any brands. That'd be kind of funny.
Stuck.
Oh, we're back in this hole. Uh... I don't know what that was. Let's see what its animation looks like when it kills us. God, what great sound effects it has. Looks like it takes some of her mana when it damages us. Hey, I needed that. Oh, pathfinding's broken. Guess that's one way to do it. Man, they let me go anywhere now. Let's see if we can't check up on our old rival's room.
Won't budge.
Oh boy. I also like that you can just dispel those guys.
Won't budge. Jammed.
Kessinger's not home.
Jammed. Jammed.
Oh, we found a bit here. I'd really like to see somebody, you know, stitch all of the bits of the Covenant estate together, like in a modern engine, so you can just walk around and explore. Although I have heard that the actual layout of the manor is intentionally non-Euclidean or nonsensical. Oh. Is that where that leads? Okay.
I just had something.
Uh-oh.